What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to play around with The Tribe Must Survive. They've given me access to their most recent closed playtest, and so this is a game about a bunch of cavemen that are in the apocalypse. A Frank Darabont-style mist is coming in from all sides and snatching away your tribe members in the middle of the night, and you've got to figure out how to advance through the tech tree in order to figure out where the fog comes from and stop it. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. You can check out the Steam page. On top of that, I also have a Twitch stream. I've been trying to go full-time lately. I've been trying to put my 40 hours a week on the board, so there's a lot more Splattercat content out there. If you just take the time to go and check it on out, I ping the Discord whenever I go live. But let's start this thing on off and get it.
Whatever it is that lurks in the dark, it was about to get us. Everything happened so fast. Many were taken before we could sound the horn. The fire was our only hope. We had stocked up, wood and food and everything else, but we had not prepared against the shadows within. When tension turned to carnage, we fled into the night. Aimless we ran, for days, through a blur of darkness and fog, death all around us. When suddenly, the fog lifted, and the light came back. At least for now. Those shadows will return. Prepare. We have to survive.
I think the theming of this game is really, really good. Like, this is a really solid premise for a game, because think how scary it would be if you were stupid or incurious or just primitive and didn't understand how to, like, rectify the outside world and the things that you see inside of it. And then something like this happens where a mist arrives that's stealing your family from the darkness and whatnot. Imagine how horrifying and terrifying that would be if you didn't have a way to, like, scientifically explain it. You know what I mean? That'd be awful. It'd be awful if you did have a way to explain it, but explanations sometimes provide a little bit of comfort. So this is what the game looks like. We are a bunch of disheveled-looking cavemen wearing scraps of random buffalo. We take our cavemen, we assign them to jobs. This is, in most ways, kind of like a village management game. The only difference is you gotta keep the fire lit. So this fire right here is the only thing, if darkness engulfs one of your people, they get stolen in like 5 seconds. You know, you die really fast and don't starve if you go out in the dark after nightfall. This game's exactly the same way. Don't go out in the dark after nightfall. It's a mistake. You're going to hate yourself for it. But first thing we need is a stockpile. That's where all of our stuff is going to go to. And then we also need some lumber camps. We don't want to get too crazy about spending on lumber camps, but we'll assign 3 people to go gather lumber, and as long as there's enough light radius, they will actually go and do that. We can also increase the light radius over here if we wanted to, by increasing the amount of wood and multiplying the amount that we feed to the fire to give us even more room to kind of process materials and do stuff after the darkness creeps on in. We'll probably play this whole video kind of on like 2x speed, I guess. Makes things go quicker. But this game is all about making sure various meters do not go down to 0 and end up with you getting obliterated. That's pretty much like the whole point. I need a granary in order to make a tent. Okay, my people can't sleep until they have a tent. Everybody has needs in this game, from fear to other things that they need to fill in. As discontent goes up, there's a chance that there will be riots and everybody will just start murdering each other because they've kind of like lost it in the dark. Oh, there's tree cover on this map. I haven't seen that before. That threw me off. Yeah, there's tree cover. All right. But the map is procedural. You don't always get the same map, and you don't always get the same resources. Since the last time I played the game, they've also implemented this hex-style system where you can explore and you can find exploitable resources, like in the fringe areas that surround your village, and you can put kind of like these resource producers on top of them. Kind of cool stuff. And then on the way, while you're exploring to the north and you're like finding all those areas, they will give you events and things that you need to rectify and fix and take care of. Otherwise, you know, bad stuff happens. Bunch of wood just came on in. This is going to be a really good time for us to stamp out that granary. So there we go. Granary's now out, and because we have a granary, I would strongly suggest putting down a tent so that people can sleep, because their sleep meters fall off pretty fast, and you kind of want to be on top of that on day one. Let's go ahead and speed the game on up since there's nothing really going on. At 21 hours, we're going to have to turn on the fire with our F key. We're also going to want to make sure that the night horn is on automatic, because there's a horn that sounds and goes doo-doo, and everybody goes to the fire at night. If the doo-doo does not go off, people tend to like stand around in the darkness and just get eaten by the grue. And I'd prefer not to have my society bleed like that if I can help it. So off goes the horn. We should have enough fire to make it through the night. By my calculations, it costs us, this is like what? We go from 2100 to what? Let's look. I think we go from, it's 8 hours, so we use 16 wood every single day just burning the fire right there. But once we get to 5 a.m., we should be able to turn the fire off and they can just go back to work. Now, they do have a fear score right here. They only reduce their fear by being around fire. It doesn't go down when the sun comes up, oddly enough. I figured their fear would kind of slowly go down when the sun is up because the world is not scary anymore. Not the case. They still get scared as hell during the day. So you are going to be expected to kind of have, you know, your fire burning 24 hours a day once you have your economy set up. But what we really need right now is hunters' huts so that we can bring in some food. So let's go ahead and we'll stamp out some hunters' huts over here. I do think it's a really good idea that they add alternate graphics for every building, 3 to 4, or make them out of randomized pieces. Right now the game is a very stampy builder. I call these stampy builders, builders where you just kind of spam out buildings that all look the same and there's not a whole lot of population micromanagement or anything else like that. It's a stampy builder. This game is definitely on the stampier end of stampy builders, and so having something to break up the visual monotony of all the buildings looking identical would be a really good idea. So having 3 or 4 different, you know, huts, 3 or 4 of these guys right here that are different, that kind of stuff helps. It makes the game look better visually. I will build another tent because if we have extra room for people, we can get babies born. Babies will get born, they will come back on in, and then we can put them to work. Unfortunately, our fear is staying quite high right now. But for this last guy, I'll probably assign them to be a wood chopper like over there maybe. We are running low on wood. That's okay, because our economy should sort that out now. We're in a pretty solid spot. In previous iterations of this game, these hunters actually had to go out into the field and they would chase down these little giraffe icons, like these cave paintings of giraffes. And they would chase them out super far, and actually food was really difficult to stockpile, as I recall in the original version of this game. Not the case anymore. They just go out into the woods, and the game hopes that you're not looking. They go behind a bush, and they just magically conjure a rat off. Like, it's like a big muskrat thing. We have, like, a muskrat-based diet, all right? It's not the most... It's not the most flattering diet. I don't think it's going to make us friends with all the fancy pants people out there that are like, ooh, I don't like to eat muskrat. But, like, it gets us through the day and we survive. Now, there are a bunch of different... A wanderer arrives. A strange man has arrived at your camp. He is a full head taller and looks much stronger than any of our tribe members. His ragged hair and beard melt in with his huge mammoth fur gown, giving him the appearance of a great bear. The man looks fiercely from left to right as our tribe members approach him. Their eyes lock with him, and the feral expression on his face turns into a calm, steady stare. I'm here to take something from you, he growls in a strange accent. Not as a robber, but today I am not more than a beggar in urgent need of help. I cannot stay, but I will return in 3 days to get 50 stone. There is nothing material that I can give you in return. Can you help me? I haven't really set up my industry yet, so I'm going to turn him down. What he actually does is that there's different levels of upgrades in this game, so you can upgrade all of your buildings to make them more efficient. There's also 4 tiers of these upgrades. There's also spiritual upgrades that you get. These spiritual upgrades kind of define the alignment of your society by aligning you with a particular god that's arranged with a certain idea. The shepherd is like the good god. The beast is kind of like the bad, selfish god about taking what you want and not considering the feelings of others. And the mother has not been implemented yet. If you do that guy's quest, he gives you 100 beast points that you can play around with in order to kind of like make your society more selfish, I guess. But the selfishness comes with benefits. These guys are chopping through the night, which is just great. Let's go ahead and kill that fire real quick, though. so that we can really stockpile some wood. We're going to need some immigration to happen before we're going to be able to accomplish too much more, so I'm just going to let her run until something happens. Not really a whole lot going on right now. I've let a day pass or so, but we do have enough for our stone pit, actually, so I'd probably get that started because we can't move up the tech tree to more interesting things until the stone pit is ready for a throw. That's going to be our entire population, totally working right now. There is no real way to track I've been looking around, and it's very, very difficult to figure out how many of your guys are. It's not difficult, but anyways, there's not a whole lot of things for tracking your population and your inputs and your outputs. I would recommend that they add a full statistics screen that tells you your food inputs, your food outputs, who's working, who's doing what, kind of like those RimWorld style menus that help out. I actually don't know what that does right there. Oh, well, it just gives me kind of like a lighting grid. It's a start. We're almost at time to light the fire right here. I had it turned up last night. We'll summon everybody back, but a few more, I think, environmental controls like that and also statistical controls would be nice. I'm the kind of person that really, really, really likes to track all my stats with little line graphs and things inside of the game. But the reason why we want the stone quarry is because it's going to allow us to access the next tier of buildings that allow us to do fun things. We're also going to need another tent right there, so I'll go ahead and leave that so that we've got a little bit of room to grow. When we do things in this game, we get influence. You can use influence to go into this menu right here, and you can like raise or you can lower your people's tolerance. You can raise and lower their stability. These things make you much more resistant to fear. And then discontent, I think, just has to do with stability. And so you kind of want to keep those things high. Various events and whatnot will also affect those and cause them to work or, not work and mess with your life while you're playing the game. We have one person huddled by the fire here. So we do have an extra person to play around with. Our food looks okay for right now. It's not too wild. I kind of like to be really on top of wood. That tends to be my preference in this title, is I like to have a lot of wood. So I'm going to assign her to be a wood chopper. There's also like a event that transitions you between Act 1 and Act 2. This game seems to have like a narrative-focused campaign to it, almost like a Frostpunky vibe to it. Where you are trying to figure out how things are happening, and at certain points, the storyline will advance and bring you up to, a new tier. We have another extra worker after another day of waiting. We're going to get the Explorer's platform going, I think, so that he'll start looking around the area and clearing the fog of war, because this game seems to be a grid of hexes. So you've got, like, the world map, which is big hexes, and then the big hexes are comprised of these little hexes. You kind of see them with the fog of war. What he'll do is he'll start walking around and clearing that out, and sometimes there's other resources and stuff inside of there, and you can place kind of like outposts that also have their own campfire and have like their own supplies and stuff like that that make the whole thing. They allow you to bring in kind of far-fetched resources like copper and whatnot that'll advance you down the tech tree and move you forward with respect to like the time period that your tribe is in. Now, why do we want the Explorer's platform? Well, the reason we want the Explorer's platform is because it allows us to do journeys, actually. And with journeys, you can go out and you can fetch almost like these Binding of Isaac-style artifacts from the outside world, as well as clearing the map out. And so you can find like an old abandoned hammer from a much more advanced tribe, for example, and you can use that to make your stone quarrying go twice as fast, basically, or whatever, and that persists for the rest of your run. I don't know if they're gonna put roguelite elements in this game or whatever. God, we are really kind of a creepy group of people. But he's gonna go off and explore. During exploration, you got to keep an eye on your discontent, and you've got to keep an eye on how angry people are. Otherwise, they can riot on the road as well. But realistically, that's going to be kind of like low muss, low fuss. Every now and again, there's going to be a little pop-up that tells you something has happened. I would recommend they put a progress meter above this to let you know when the next event is coming. A tribe member is in shock. That's unfortunate. So when a tribe member is in shock, what we need to do is we need to keep the fire on all the time, because they just sit around the fire beatboxing like this, just and so we need their fear to go back down. We'll probably need to leave the fire running for a day or two, which is something I prefer not to do, but something we may end up having to do. The Spirit Lodge is probably the next big expenditure that we should purchase. The Spirit Lodge will allow us to see to the spiritual needs of our people, and it allows them to smoke Mary Jane in a controlled environment that makes everybody happy. And so we'll get a shaman down here. You'll see this lady gets assigned to be a shaman. We need to come down and we need to assign how much of this is going to be used for daily consumption versus how much of it gets stockpiled for rituals. So when people need to fix their spiritual needs, they will come on over here and they will get this medicine that should be produced by the shaman. And if we have any major problems, what we can do is we can click on this button right here, and it'll throw like a big powwow party, and everybody will come down there and do like a boogie dance, and it fixes everybody's spirituality if you have like enough drugs to go around. Now, leaving the fire running all the time is having unintended consequences. We are burning through our wood pretty good right now, and there will be events in this game that force you to have like really solid stockpiles. What happened here? The trees around us are sickly and withered as we approach an abandoned camp. The buildings and the ground around them are covered in ash as dark as the night sky. It is a black void from which even light is unable to escape. Only one thing stands out in that darkness, a kneeling body in a white cloak, unlike any we have ever seen before. As we approach the edge of the camp, we feel there is something profoundly wrong about this place. Get the cloak? Despite our fears, we push our way through the campsite, our footprints practically invisible in the absolute blackness of the ash-covered ground. At the center of it, we find the cloak-wearing figure, a charred body with 12 spears pierced through it. Somehow, the white fur cloak has been left spotless. We lift the cloak off of the body, and immediately it shatters, and a cloud of pitch-black darkness pours on out, covering us. Inside that absolute darkness, we hear faint voices speaking with spiteful whispers that we cannot understand. Finally, the darkness clears and the voices fall silent. We quickly leave the place behind, though the malign sense of the unnatural dread stays with us long after. What does the cloak do? Tribe member discontent, -5. Okay. So we all have that? Turn back. Bring it back to the camp. Like, is he already coming back? I don't know how long it takes him to get back over here. But that cloak is going to be really, really helpful, especially if it lowers everybody's discontent by 5. Like, it's because we're going to lose this -20 buff right here at some point. So, it's a good idea for us to have that. One tribe member's in shock. Oh, what'd they find over here? Oh, there's something ghostly and glowy over there. Cool. I mean, I guess that's probably not cool. That's probably a really bad thing. Like, how frequently are you excited to see something ghostly and glowy in the darkness? But, you know, an eclipse will hit us in 4 days. Prepare. How many extra tribe members do I have right now? 3? Okay. We will definitely do preparatory stuff. Wood is probably going to be the big concern there. I would also say we probably want to farm. I would say maybe take a farm right there. And then we'll probably do like a crop field. Yeah, it feels all right to me. We'll get like some little crops over there. I'm trying to make sure that everything still functions once the darkness comes flowing on in. But what'll happen here is crops will grow randomly on these little spots right there. And then you'll be able to harvest them for like food supply that doesn't rely on you going way out in the darkness. A group of strangers has arrived. They saw our fire and ask if they can join us. Strength is in numbers. We can lose stability, but we'll gain 4 people. Or we can just go straight for the people that we already have. Let's get some more people. Why not? I'm going to have to turn off the fire, too, at some point. People, like, are just going to need to get better and stop going straight crazy pants all over the place. Like, we got to... If we lose people, that's fine, but I kind of got to... I kind of need to build up a stockpile for the eclipse. We just picked up 4 more people. So we're going to need, first and foremost, another tent. There we go. Tent has been gained. Aside from that, I think there's a pretty strong chance that it'd be a good idea for us to wipe out 3 of these and then move them down here. Like so. So that they're closer to the trees and they don't have as long of a walk. I don't know if we picked up a whole bunch of medicine yet. I need to investigate how we get the medicine. Green Medicine Farm appears to be the one that does it. It looks to be quite expensive, though. And it looks like we need to find a source of green medicine first. I'm guessing, that's our guy over there. Okay, so we need green medicine before we can do too much more. Let's just let people gather up resources for a little bit. And hopefully things work out. We've got plenty of time left, but I just got to put a pause on the campfire for right now. Looks like we have a number of people that are having, like, mental breakdowns, but I'd like to stockpile a lot of wood before. We're not going to be doing anything except for huddling around fires once the cataclysm gets here anyways, the eclipse, and so they'll have plenty of time to get their fear back. I think the eclipse lasts for, like, 4 or 5 days. Are you assigned to anything? Like, what do? You're from the Hunter's Hall? That's not great. I guess I could assign somebody else to it. Yeah, have Gashar do it. We'll have Gashar do it. The farms look like they're producing corn and stuff too, so we should be getting like 9 or 10 food a day from that. We have 20 people, so I think they eat the amount of food per day that they have on them. So I think our food supply is more or less secure. We need 48 wood. Oh, he just made it back. Wow. Okay, he made it back alive. His discontent and his fear are pretty high. But hey, we brought back a magic cloak, so that's pretty cool. Add everything into the stockpile, and we'll send out another batch of explorers later. But we need 48 wood per day, and I think this lasts 5 days. So we're going to need a bit more food. We've got some stuff that we can still play around with, but we're still going to need more. Apparently, we've got talent and practice have made Frugrig Eganfrug an especially cold-blooded hunter. He now gets minus 50 fear, and he works 20% faster, and he moves 25% faster. Hell yeah, man, good for you. Kill those little tiny adorable animals that are covered in fluff. Good for you, brother. People are starting to break down, so I think I'm going to need to leave this running. I don't want to, but I think I'm going to have to. Like, it may be one of those things that takes place. Worst case scenario is actually, I don't even think the shaman's hut is doing anything right now. So we may be able to gather up some green goodies, though. Yeah, let's get a medicine farm over there. Maybe somebody will be able to do something with it. Who knows? Yeah, we got too many people breaking down now. I was hoping the mass breakdown of all of my laborers would not happen until later on. So that I could just, like, assign them to hang out around the fire for, like, the 5 days we're just going to be sitting here. But unfortunately, the mental breakdown happened faster than expected. The tents are getting messy. So messy, in fact, that it's starting to affect sleep. We have to do something. You can't sleep well surrounded by chaos. Yeah, I guess clean the tents. Sure, I've got influence. Tell everybody, go clean your room, cavemen. Go clean your cave room, your cave annex, whatever you want to call it. We should have still brought in positive wood for the day, even leaving it running 24 hours a day to fix everybody's neuroticism, so, like, maybe it'll be okay. The eclipse is here. So the sun has disappeared, and a strange mist is building up around us. The light of the fire protects us, but there is something in the dark waiting for the flame to shrink. Everybody's going to want to get in here. You're going to want to pile on in. I don't think productivity is going to be super good right now. Everybody's kind of having like a mental breakdown due to, you know, everything that's going. The sun has been eaten by the sky, all right? That would be pretty terrifying if you were a caveman. Not only that, but like the clouds are shitting lightning everywhere. I feel like this is, if you don't know anything about natural phenomena, this would be probably a good place to start panicking. I feel like I'd be a little panicky. Ooh, we got another event. I love this artwork right here. You can tell the artist is very talented and knows their way around lighting and shadows, but whenever they depict people in this game, it's almost like it was made with charcoal thumb smudges, like cave paintings. It's very, very cool. That's a cool observation for the art style of this game. The artist has a good eye. Fear has taken over the tribe and driven people to extreme measures. One of our tribe members is being dragged to the edge of the mist as a sacrifice to whatever lurks inside. We must give the mist what it wants. One life sacrifice to bring back the sun, to save us all. The tribe member is struggling to break free, begging the others to stop. The rest are horrified by what they're seeing and are attempting to intervene. The eclipse will pass. I'll use some of my influence to help out with that because I am the tribe king. Look upon me in despair. It's amazing to me that they're still, like, quarrying, even though the darkness is out there. Kind of scary, right? We could do, if we get to Act 2, we can do the Tinkery. We're not quite there yet. I don't know if anybody's actually... Oh, they did. They used up all the green herbs to fix their spiritual needs. At least somebody did. We can't go out to get more just yet, but maybe someday. Discontent is getting a little bit wonky. Like, how bad is it? Discontent's at 31 average, 52 fear average. That's probably why, though, is we just got to build up some influence and get some more tolerance to fear. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to ramp up the amount of wood that we're using in order to, like, dispel people's fear. We're going through a lot of wood per day right now with it at level 2. So I'm going through 96 wood a day instead of going through the normal 48 that we would be going through, I guess. Actually, so it's 2 per hour, a greater sacrifice. Darkness and mist still surround us. Tribe members are sinking deeper into terror, fearing that the fire will go out. Again, they demand an offering be made. We know what the mist wants. Hurry before it's all lost. Eyes turn towards the tribe member that had almost been sacrificed before. Her lip begins to quiver. We'll sacrifice 75 meat. We have plenty of food, whatever keeps the tribe chill. But yeah, normally, so it's 2100, it's 8 hours at 2 wood an hour, so 16 normally. So 4 wood an hour for 8 hours. 32, actually. That's not that bad. 32. I thought it was 96 for some reason. I guess I'm just bad at math. But this will kind of... Is their fear going away? Yeah, it's helping a little bit more. The eclipse is making them have, like, plus 20, though. So there's only so much you can do in a situation like this. However, it's about to break on the eve of the 19th day. And when I played the game last time, you couldn't get past here. Like, I think the darkness went on forever until you died. But we appear to have made the leap. So at 5 a.m. we should be good. Hey, and we can upgrade our tolerance, too. There we go. Let's go up to... Yeah, we'll go up to tolerance level 1. And so everybody should get minus 10 fear now, which means I should be able to back off the flame source and save some wood. And then once we get our building area back, we're going to be... right as rain, I think, except for our spiritual needs, which I'm having a really hard time staying on top of because the green is so far away over there. One more night, and we will have survived the fog. The eclipse is past, and the morning awaits. Act 2. Even though we survived the eclipse, we soon realized that what got us here won't get us any further. Struggling to satisfy even our most basic needs wasn't going to be enough. Survival is raced between progress and disaster. So everybody needs more social needs, but we got a whole bunch of buffs, too, for Act 2. So that's good. Let's go ahead and run it. Our hunters haven't been working for a very long time, so they're going to need to get on top of that. People are no longer fearful because we survived our first stint inside of the darkness. So let's go ahead and we will make a Tinkery, which is one thing that I've been looking forward to. Tinkery right there. Go ahead and kill the fire so we can start stockpiling again. Everybody go back to work. You've had 5 days off. I know that it's 5 days off in the midst of a eldritch lightning storm is probably not the most satisfying way to take 5 days off, but 5 days off is 5 days off. Wow, that was really pricey. The research anyways. That was pretty excessively pricey. Okay. We need some more tents too. I don't know how many more tents would be a good idea, but we'll just kind of like drop one for right now. I don't know if we're going to have immigrants anytime soon. Food for thought. Our tinkers ask for additional resources to feed their creative flame. These inspiring substances will surely lead us to many useful ideas. So they want to get basically high AF. Okay, but then I've got to ignore everybody else's needs for like the next X amount of time. Like, I hate to be that guy, but I think we're also going to need another green medicine farm over here. I mean, I have extra workers, so it's not that big of a deal, but... Wood did not recover today at nearly the rate that I was hoping it would recover either. It's kind of a bummer. We should probably save on wood a little bit. Are they still, like, beating back the forest over here? Is that what's happening? If I delete the stockpile and put it over here, I bet they'd process faster. I probably should. Oh, you can't delete the stockpile. Good to know. So once you place that bad boy, it is where it is. All right. We got some more trees over here. We could do that. Let's get a few more lumber choppers. We got a lot of people sitting around doing jack nothing right now, and I want them to start doing, you know, jack something, because who knows what the next couple events are going to be. But with these researches right here, you can start buying stuff like this that makes your lumber camps produce faster. You can start buying things like Hunter's Hall efficiencies. You can get more stonemasons and increase the amount of people that can work at each location. We're probably going to need multiple tinkers, in all honesty, like 2 to 3, because our tinkering output is kind of bad right now. They produce 10 a day. So if you actually want to start progressing through the tech tree, yeah, we're going to need to have 2 or 3 of these bad boys as well. Unfortunately, they're very, very expensive with regards to wood, so I've got to wait for a bit more wood to come in before we'll be able to slap down on that thing. But it is a really good idea to get another one. All right, turn the fire back on. Researchers should be able to work no problem during this time. Hopefully people are not smoking up all of our... They haven't brought in, like, any herbs. Can I, like, turn off herb usage? It's tempting to just destroy it for right now because it's clear they're using it all up. We just had 7 and it all disappeared. It looks like it pulls it out of your inventory to prepare it for the ritual. So instead, these meters right here should have 3. How much you keep in storage, like how much you feed to people, and how much you prepare for the ritual. So this needs to be split 3 ways, because for this event right here, there's no way to stop people from smoking up all my herb, man. They're smoking it all out right now, so I'm going to get in trouble on that event because there's no way to stockpile it, because your only 2 options are to let everybody smoke it so that it makes their spiritual need go up, or to have it taken out of the stockpile to put it inside storage, or inside this building, which takes it out of storage, which means you then don't have 10 for the event. Womp womp. I don't see a solution here except for destroying this building, basically. That's the only solution that I see, really. I don't know. We have 12 stockpiled up right now. These guys are trying. They're trying really, really hard to bring stuff in. I just don't know if it's going very well. On the plus side, we got room for research now. Do I have enough for anything? A little bit low, but lumber camp production, I think, is going to be, like, my first one that I go for, like, aggressively. But my name is Splattercat. This is... The Tribe Must Survive. This is a much better playtest than the last demo that I played. The last demo that I played was, like, wonky, and it had, like, weird things going on with it, with just kind of, like, the balance of how the whole thing worked. This is much, much better. This right here is very, very playable. It's still a little simple for me. It's still a little hands-off. Like, I feel like I spend a lot of time waiting for something to happen and not really doing anything. But the improvement between the Steam Next Fest demo I played like a year or 2 ago and this one is like night and day. This one is much better. And so keep it up, developers. You're making progress. You can feel it inside the game right now. It just feels like it needs some more stuff to occupy the player's mind while the player is, you know, setting things up, and that we're not just like waiting for more population and whatnot. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for stopping on in, and that's all I got for you. Bye, folks.